Hello and welcome to Sacred State Oracle. I'm doing weekly pick a card general readings to receive intuitive messages for you. Feel free to pause the video to tune in and see which card calls to you. It's a general reading, so if it doesn't resonate with you, leave those parts out. And remember, no card reading should dictate your life. Always trust your own intuition and use common sense. If you find this reading helpful, feel free to like the video, subscribe, and click the bell so you know when a new one is up. Your support means a lot and helps this space grow. With that being said, I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, deck number one. Welcome to this week pick a card reading. I'm so excited to have you here. And this week, the question that I wanted to ask for all of you is, what does your inner child want you to know? And today, during this reading, it's 26th of May. It's actually a new moon in Gemini. So I think it's perfect for inner child work and trying to remember who you were as a child before society kind of broke you in, or your caretakers taught you differently from being curious and open and embrace who you truly were. So I think today is a good day and a week ahead to try to remember what lighted you up, what was fun for you when you were a kid, you know? So that's why I felt like it would be appropriate and good question for all of us to see what does our inner child want us to know right now. Okay, so if you chose card number one, this reading is for you. It's a general reading, so some things might resonate and some things might not. Don't try to fit it. If it doesn't, just listen to your intuition and see what speaks to you. Okay, let's flip this card over and begin. Okay, deck number one. You've got the little beautiful seahorse here. It says, Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait. Oh, I really love the way this card looks. I love seahorses. Now let's see what this is telling us about what your inner child wants to know. When I flipped this card, it was in reverse, so I'm gonna reach deeper and see what it tells me about the energies that surround you, deck number one. And I feel is that this is where you do not want to wait. You have impatient feeling where how much longer am I supposed to wait? Why can't it happen now? I want it now. I want it when I see it, that type of thing, where you're really in the moment of wanting. And for some of you, what I am getting right now is that, and to bring into perspective, if you had children or if you're around children, how if they see maybe something on a display in the store and they want to grab it, they want it, or they see a beautiful rock, they want to go and pick it up right away. They kind of follow those impulses and wants. And for some of you, what I'm getting right now is that there is a shame associated with your want or needs. If you want something, you might talk yourself out from wanting it. Like you talk to yourself in a way that makes it not continue wanting it, if it makes sense. It's like something that you shouldn't be obtaining, or you shouldn't even be wanting. And so the invitation here is to see, why is that? Where on your path you've learned that it's, you want too much, you're too needy, you're too this or that in a negative way, when there's so many beautiful things out there that is okay to want and desire. So why is that you feel like you can't even have that? Let's see what else this card wants to tell me. What else am I getting for some of you? Why do you feel that you have to watch from the sidelines, is what I'm hearing? Why do you have to feel like you have to put yourself outside of the game, of things that other people, why are the things that other people getting are not okay for you to get? So the inner child wants to be honored in for the desires it have. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, something materialistic and small, or something that is more like it's not an object, it's more of desire to have a certain feeling, for example. But why are you not honoring that it's okay for your inner child to have it? To me, whenever I've done inner work, the child is at the same time as me. Like, it's not like it was in the past. So I see myself in whatever period of time I'm working with my inner child. It could be 7-year old. Like, actually, last night I was doing the inner child work, and she showed up as a 10-year old. And the things that she brought up, I completely forgot. So it was very interesting what part she brought up and what we needed to work on. But to me, it's not like she's in the past. She's right here at the same time. And working at this in this period of time right with her affects me now. I hope it makes sense. It's not like I'm traveling into the past. I'm reaching into the now of her now and working with her, and that affects mine now. Because to me, time is not how we see it. It's not linear that way. Anyways, I don't know why I need to go on that rant, but maybe because there's an invitation for you to address that child. And if you were able to think and pinpoint maybe the time where his desires were declined or even shamed for, oh, you want too much, why you're so needy, not everyone gets what they want, and things like that, maybe have time to talk to your inner child and be like, it's okay if you really wanted this. It could be like as small as, like, I don't know, like, but as a kid, I really liked horses, like figurines of horses. And I was the happiest when I could get one and, play with it. So, like, sometimes I feel that even it's okay to get something like that for yourself now, no matter how old, just because your inner child wanted it at some point. Or just have that conversation with him or her that, it's okay that you wanted it. And I'm sorry you were guided in a way that didn't support that desire, right? And I'm not talking about someone who maybe was surrounded by too many things, and the caregivers just wanted to give monetarily and not with their time and attention and care. That's a different wound that one might have. But it's with this card, what I felt for most of you is just um, why you're not honoring the desires that you have and putting yourself outside there where you're not allowed to have it for whatever reason. And then you talk a bit down on to yourself. There's little shame. There's a shame feeling that I get. So the invitation for me, or for you guys, or me telling you or asking you or inviting you, is to maybe pinpoint that and work with that so that you can not be still attached to that desire, or not even desire, but the shame surrounded the whatever you might be wanting in life at this moment. Okay. Whew. Okay, so my readings are not, if you're new to the channel, they are not for, hey, everything is fantastic, yes, you got it. It will most of the time point out on the areas where we need to work. That's part of the healing. You have to step in, you have to own it, and you have to work and process it. When I say work, sometimes it's just sitting with the feeling, but your attention needs to be present. Your intention is paramount. So if you do not resonate with the with owning yourself and what you need to do, that these readings are not for you, okay? These readings are for people who are ready to work on themselves, and they might just don't know how to do it, or maybe they are not clear on where to start. But yeah, this is kind of how I operate and how I work. And I hope it resonates with most of you and it's helpful. But enough of that. Let's move into the next card and see what else your inner child wants for you to know. And I got pulled to this deck. And if you've seen my readings before, I have a few decks here and I kind of tune in to see what needs to be brought forward for our messages this week. Okay, Spirit, what else their inner child wants them to know? Oof, I'm getting like anxiety in my stomach. Have you been told as the kid, like, if you tried and do something, it's like you, to me it feels, when you're caregivers, you're expecting to be scolded. And so you get that anxiety when the new information comes out from someone. And even like me, just a reader, there's a little bit of a going in, how to say it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Sometimes these feelings are hard to articulate. It's like where you know you're going to be scolded, but you're listening to the authority of your caretakers. It could be teacher, it could be your parents, anyone who took care of you when you were little. And then you just expect that you did something wrong. Okay. Look at this card. I know there's 3 cards that fell out, but I typically don't take when more than one card show up. I always say to Spirit, give me one card. Material Harvest is the card number 9 that showed up. See, again, to me, it's like, let me ground myself. The way you deny your desires, stopping that flow of materialistic things that you want in life. Does it make sense? You could have all this, but you're kind of closing in just because, for whatever reason, you don't believe you're worth those desires. You shouldn't be having them. You shouldn't be wanting them. And I think that's why this card showed up, to remind you, like, it's okay to want it because you can have it. It's okay. You can have it. There's nothing shameful about wanting a nicer car or wanting a beautiful furniture for your house, or wanting to buy something that is well made, that can stay and with you for a long time, and you can use it for years to come. It's okay to love beautiful things like jewelry. If you look at it, jewelry, just a different way of creation and art, right? It could be an art painting, but it could be a beautifully made necklace. Art, to me, that's art. So it's very clear to me, is this message is like very straightforward. You're blocking the abundance, you're blocking your desires coming your way, just because for whatever reason you've been shamed for wanting more in your life. Who are you to want more? Maybe that way. And so you're not open to receive it. I want to see what's the next card I want to pull out for you. What else your inner child wants you to know? Deck number 1. Okay. Let's do this deck. What else deck number 1 needs to know? Okay. We got this card that says, card number 16. It says here, all that glitters isn't gold. That's funny how the money comes for you. in this reading, deck number 1. It's money wounds. Deep money wounds for you guys. Deck number 1. If you choose this reading, that is something that I would invite you to explore, because we all have it, or most of us have some type of money wounds. And I feel deeply for you, deck number 1. That is the area that you can improve for a better flow of material things for you. And another thing that maybe that you're ashamed for is this idea of wanting money, and this idea being wanting money is bad, that it's selfish, that it's evil, that it's disgusting, that is like, that's not what make a good person, and phrases like that, the belief systems like that. Those beliefs are stuck with you and they're not serving you. And you need to, well, you don't need to, but if you want to, I invite you to try to pay attention. What phrases do you use, or what feelings arises like when you dealing with money? Do you really feel money is evil? Do you really feel desiring money is bad, or make you unworthy, or make you some kind of shameful person just because you want a better life and better life for your families? So that is a big belief in for you, deck number 1, to address. So your inner child wants you to remember that it's okay to want things and honor that desire to have it, because why else would you, like, I don't know, to me, if it comes through, I feel like this essence of us that comes from the source, and desiring something beautiful, something new, something exciting is part of it. And why are we denying it? Now, I'm not telling you go and spend all your money on things you don't really need. I'm not saying that, but if you desire something, why not spoil yourself with something because it brings you joy? Yeah. I'm just saying anything else. But I think this message is pretty straightforward, and I am thankful you were able to join me today and see this reading, share this reading, watch this reading. If it resonated, leave a message. Tell me how you're feeling. Um, I wish you the best. I wish a nice week ahead of you, and just pay attention and do the work. No one is going to step in and do it for us, you know? All right. Lots of love. See you soon. Hello, deck number 2. Welcome to this week Pick a Card reading. And this week, what I wanted to ask was, what does your inner child want you to know right now? We have a new moon today. It's Monday, 26th of May. It's in Gemini, so I felt this would be a nice thing to ask, to remember who you were before your caregivers, your society helped you form your beliefs. Who you were as the kid, what made you you, what excited you, what lights you up. And I feel like the inner child work is one of the most important ones you can do in your lifetime to eliminate and heal, eliminate the limiting beliefs that you might pick up that are not serving you in your adult life, and heal things that have been harmful and that happened to you when you were vulnerable and young. Now, with that being said, I talked to deck number 1, and I want to bring it up too. These readings that I do usually involve really looking at yourself and addressing things that require work And if you are a person who is looking just for quick fixes or just, you know, inspirational messages that you can do it, and which I believe you can do it, but some things really need to be worked on and come back over and over, and you have to be patient and you have to be loving to yourself. But if you're looking for something quick fixed and happy, my readings are probably not for you. My readings will bring you down to your core essence and to you being human. And it will talk about things of how we can maybe look at ourselves and find the areas of healings, you know. So, with that being said, let's just flip this card over and see what your inner child wants you to know. Deck number 2. You've got transformation is beautiful. I've never have gotten this deck or this card before from this deck. It's card number 11. So, as you know, 1111 is often a symbol that people see when they're aligning with their spiritual path. So butterfly spirit showing up, telling you that transformation is beautiful. Something that your inner child wants to know is that you went through, actually, and for some of you, you continue going through it. It's not like it's one day process. You might be being in the middle of that transformation, the darkness of it all, and feeling that it's ugly and hard and difficult. But your inner child wants you to know it's beautiful. It's making you who you are. All this inner work that you've been doing will gonna will and is affecting you and shaping you and it growing you. It helps you to open your wings and helps you to find your colors. It helps you to connect with like-minded spirits, is what I'm picking up. Even if you feel alone right now, I feel like there is a desire to find like-minded people, find your tribe, find someone who can understand what you're going through and being on the same frequency, providing support, and there is the desire for connection. And you know how a lot of times when we're little, we want that connection. We want connection to our parents. When we get older, we want that connection to other kids. We want to play, and we feel really hurt when a group of children does not accept us. And we feel alone and left out. But I pick up from this card that the desire for connection, the connection standing out big for me. For some of you, you're already kind of like on the end of that transformation that you've been going through. And that's why you want to look up and connect to others. You're not in the stage where you feel you're alone so you can deal with that transformation and see what it's showing to you. You're at the point where you went through it, you understand it, and now you want to connect with others that went through similar circumstances. And I hear, let your spirit shine. It's like opening up and letting go, opening up and let yourself fly, taking flight, being free, not afraid to be who you are. Because a lot of us have visibility wounds. That's a tricky one. Maybe one of these days we'll talk about it. But yeah, I feel like this uplifting energy, the current, this takes you up. I feel the inner child is encouraging you to connect, to follow this current. It's uplifting. It's uplifting. It's going up, like your energy up. And perhaps it's part of your spiritual awakening that happened, and now there's more openings of your higher chakras, so therefore you are more connected to who you are when you completed this transformation, and then it calls you to oneness, it calls you to others. Maybe that's what it is, reminding you that we are all the same, we're all come from one source, and we're all one. And so this is like this desire to connect with oneness, bigger than you, bigger than anything you've ever known. That's very interesting. I want to know what else your inner child wants to let you know this moment. So let me see which deck I want to use. Okay, I feel this one. What else deck number 2 needs to know, Spirit? What their inner child wants them to know. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me grab this card. I regularly drop my cards from the desk on the floor. You got this card, 35, first chakra, Archangel Michael. You know how I was saying that how energy felt going upward to the higher chakras? Oh wow. Yeah. And I too fast. I'll slow down. Too many energies going through messages, and I can't keep up with that. One at a time, please. Okay. So it feels like the transformation that took place was around your own security, how you fit in the world. It started from your root chakra, and then it went up, 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 right? And then now the higher chakras are open as well. I love how we got an angel card here too, because the butterfly and angel has wings. And I feel like there are messages from spirit that come to you, and now you're more open to hear it. You're more open to see the signs because your higher chakras are more open. Does it make sense? So there's definitely influence and guidance that you are more tapped into. Before, you were so focused on the survival that it was hard to pay attention to anything else. If you don't feel safe, if you're struggling financially and don't know how you're going to pay for your food and things like that, of course you're not often looking at spirituality unless you're really at the bottom of it, and that's often when people turn to higher powers and ask for help, right? But with you, I feel because you're more open now, because you're taking flight, you are reading and understanding more signs from the universe, from angels, from your spirit guides, from your loved ones from the other side, and things like that. This is kind of unrelated, but I felt like for some of you, you also address your health and especially gut issues that just came through. So I'm going to mention it. But I love how you have the red and yellow on both cards. You know, those energies of root and sacral chakra. And even here, it feels like opening up on the butterfly spirit card. Well, that's exciting. It feels like so much, you know, I don't know. When I think about being in the dark and struggling, even though it's needed for our growth, it's not fun. But this feels like you pass it, so you're in a more exciting stage where, yeah, it just feels more exciting, where you easier to be guided, and there's more gratitude and there's more joy, and noticing things in your life that brings that joy. Does that make sense? All right, deck number 2. Let's see what else. Okay, I want to go back to Animal Oracle card deck for you and see what else your inner child wants you to know. The inner child says, thank you for addressing those fears, because that makes the child not feel as scared. Because as children, we misunderstand situations, and little things could be absolutely scary. I remember waking up and not seeing my parents and like screaming and nobody would come. And it was because my dad went downstairs. We lived in an apartment, and like on the bottom, right outside of our apartment, there was a little grocery store. He went to grab something. He was probably gone for 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes felt like, I was completely alone, abandoned, and I was terrified. And I was a baby. I remember being in a bed, and I couldn't crawl out of it. I was very, very scared. Here is okay. Okay, you can make that stuff up. Look at this. This card is the bad spirit, and it says a rebirth is assured. Well, what card talks about transformation more than a butterfly card, right? In any messages, mystical messages, spiritual messages, you go from a caterpillar into butterfly. You go through that change, and it's death and rebirth, death and rebirth. So many times we have that in our lives. It's not just one time it happens in our life where we feel like we go through death and rebirth. There's all those stages, all the seasons when it happens. And in nature, it happens, every year. If you live in like 4 seasons, time zones, but everything comes around. And guess what? This bat also has wings. It's so fascinating to me. And I think that's part of why I love doing card readings, is because how clearly the messages come. Just look at that. It's phenomenal. I don't know. I love it. And sorry, I'm pausing because I'm like in awe of how spirit just lays this out. Look at that cute bat too, looking at you upside down. So again, it feels like maybe you felt like an upside down going through your transformation, but look, our birth is assured. You're you're new you. You're new you. Ready for this part of your life. You're ready to look at the life different, at a different angle, at a different perspective, broader perspective. You feel more assured, you feel wonderful, you feel more empowered because you just overcame something that wasn't easy at all. And you know what? You should be celebrating yourself. You should definitely celebrating yourself, however it looks like to you. But yeah, I love the messages, the winged messages for you in this reading, deck number 2. I wish you an amazing week ahead. You're the one that I feel listen to your child needs, the inner child needs, and your inner child is very thankful for that, because again, it elevated the fears because they were addressed. And because of that, you feel so much secure in the world. You feel safer in the world. And when you can spread your wings and fly without constantly thinking something's going to get you, there is so much liberation. There's so much more freedom in everyday's choices and how you look in life. And that's absolutely beautiful. And I love that for you, deck number 2. So thank you so much for tuning in this week. Have an amazing week. Go fly. Hello, deck number 3. Welcome to this week pick a card reading. This week, I ask Spirit what would be the great question to answer for all of you who tune in. And what came to me was, what does your inner child want for you to know right now? We have new moon today, which is Monday, 26th of May. And it's in Gemini. And it's a good time to look inward and try to remember who you were as a child. Because when you were a little kid, you were who you were. You didn't have to pretend. You didn't have to be someone else until the point you had to become someone else. And a lot of times, you know, during that process, we adopt things and beliefs that not ours, or they don't serve our highest good, or they just, limit us, or we don't know, we take it as an absolute truth and it's not, and things like that. So we go through a lot as children, and to me, the the children, when we were kids, it's not like in the past. To me, it's at the same time as who I am now. And so if I can talk to my inner child and in the now, and address things that happen before, like if we look at it as humans, like, oh, when I was 2, when I was 5, when I was 7, but to me it's right now. But that child is in front of me right now, when they were 2, 3, 5, 7. And if I can talk to them and help them heal, help them not being scared of what was happening in those moments, then it will affect me in the now. Does that make sense? And so I invite you to tune in and see which messages deck number 3 are for you. It's a general reading, so take what resonates, that speaks to you, okay? Let's flip this card and see what your inner child wants you to know. Oh my gosh, what did I tell you? It's time to heal. You got a Snake Spirit deck number 3, card number 55. 5 often symbolizes trans. I'm sorry, the dogs are barking. I hope you cannot hear them, but it's distracting for me. 5 often symbolizes changes in our lives. So if you see like 555, it's often like a way of universe telling you, changes are coming. And you know that a snake has to shed when it grow. I know that because actually my daughter has 2 pet snakes, and she gets really excited when she can, get the shed from a snake once it's shed. And so your inner child tells you that it's time to heal. It's time to let go of the things that you're still holding on to. And there's this wisdom that I'm picking up right now from your inner child. There's depth to there's like knowing, because when you were a kid, you knew things and you trusted it. But then as you grow older, you start trusting more what others were telling you. And then you dismiss your inner guidance. And I feel like your inner child is quite wise, even at that age, at the younger age. And so it comes through right now. He or she comes through right now and tells you it's time to heal. It's time to let go of the things we're holding on to, because you cannot grow unless you let this thing go. You need to step into new skin that is glistening and allow you to stretch out. Does that make sense? Otherwise you feel caught up and small and not growing, and just stagnant. That's what the inner child is. The main message that feels right now for you is, yeah, it's time to heal. Yes, it's been painful. Yes, it's been, I hear, disturbing for some of you. Impossible to overcome. So I am so sorry to hear that you've been through this ordeal. Sending lots of love to you. Yeah, and I was telling other, decks number 1 and deck number 2 that my card readings are not for easy breezy, very light, positive messages that just inspirational or talk about mundane things. This messages and my way of working with people is much deeper. So if you feel you're ready to change, if you feel you're ready to heal, then I invite you to listen to these messages. but it requires work. It requires to be brave. It requires for you to be compassionate and give yourself grace by you doing your inner work. Okay. So yes, I absolutely believe anyone can heal anything. And yes, I do know that sometimes it feels impossible to forgive someone or impossible to feel lighter about the event that happened, about the way you've been hurt, about the trauma you might endured. And honestly, it's not like snap of the fingers and it just miraculously disappear. No, a lot of times we have to go back to it over and over and over, um, for it to be able to transmute, to heal. And maybe we'll still have a wound, or not wound, but what do you call this, scar, but that means the wound actually healed. There could be something that you'll never forget, but you are not energetically, emotionally attached to this experience like you were before. So your inner child is inviting you to address that which needs to be let go so you can grow. Okay. Let me see what else your inner child wants you to know. I have a few decks over here and I'm asking which one I should pull from. Okay. I'm going to do this one. You know what's funny that Spirit just brought to my mind? Last night I was watching a show. Was it yeah, yesterday I was actually watching a show with my daughter and it was about snakes. And I was actually, no, let me paddle back. I was sitting on the bed reading my book and I think I looked up and saw something on the screen that got my attention. It was a snake, because she loves snakes. So she was watching snake video on YouTube, and there was a snake that actually was shedding, but somehow it got itself into a shed. It was weird. It was like trapped in it, and they had to open up that shed so the snake can come out. Somehow it got itself into this circle. It's really bizarre. Anyways, don't get stuck like that snake. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. Okay, what else? Oh, I love when the angels come through. This deck honestly always shows me lots of angelic love. And whenever I do spread for myself too, a lot of cards that have angels show up, which I absolutely love. This card is card number 41. It talks about seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel. And honestly, I feel like you're still looking to the past. I read intuitively, and that's what coming through for me, that you're still looking into the past. You're still very attached to it. You are, you're in a way, and I know that might kind of make you upset if I say that. You're kind of not seeing I don't like the word lesson. You're not seeing the wisdom of the situation. And maybe wisdom even not the right word. It's like you're not seeing it's like a deeper word that I cannot think of, meaning that whatever happened has this impact that you are not able to comprehend because there's no way for you to see the bigger picture. And I feel like ripples going out towards onto others and people, events, places. I don't know. It's not specific, but that's kind of how I feel right now, the messages I'm getting. And it's okay not to understand it sometimes. I'm like, what the heck? What does this mean? I always have more questions than answers, it seems like, um but yeah, it's okay not to understand it. But what I feel like is embracing who you are is very important so that you can actually step into that. Your inner child wants you to remember who you were. And with you, I receive like more inquisitive nature. Curiosity were maybe big for you when you were, of course, like a lot of children are very curious, but there was like more maybe wanting the knowledge of things, or maybe figure out how things work when you were a child. Um, that's funny. I just noticed that she's holding a book. So maybe you were an avid reader. You read things that stimulated your mind and helped that curiosity. I remember having kids when I was little that were into reading encyclopedias back then, where you could learn a lot of different facts about a lot of different things. And so to me, I feel like your deck number 3 was that curious little child. So the invitation from your inner child would be, hey, let's see what we're curious about still. Let's see what we um, want to explore. Well, let's see what room we can make to do that. Okay. All right. What else your inner child wants you to know? Deck number 3. Yeah. Mm, there's no need to be so attached to the past unless you bring it forward to heal. That's the message. That's a big message for you, deck number 3. You're ready to heal. I feel like your spiritual, how to say it, your spirit team is just so supportive and wants you to see like the potential of you, like stepping into that, who you truly are, and encouraging you to do so. But this is like a big thing that is not allowing you to shed and move into that type of energy. Okay, we'll do this deck and see what else your inner child wants you to know about healing, about shedding, about connecting more in, with the guidance, whatever it might be for you, higher self, God, source. Yeah, and some of you don't believe in any of that just because of what happened to you, because you feel like, well, if there was such a loving presence, how can you explain this cruelty that happened to me, that unspeakable things that happened to me when you were most vulnerable? And my heart goes out to you. Yep. Oh my goodness, you guys, what did I tell you? Plants, growth, right? So it's just like a confirmation for me to tell you that the growth is required. You are ready for it, but it's up to you. I feel like your spirit team nudging you. I feel like the universe is gently pushing you, but I feel like there is a contract that if you're not going to be facing it, they're going to be showing it more until you address it. It's important for your soul evolution, for your learning. So, sometimes it feels like if you ever, okay, let me do this example. If you have kids, or I don't know, significant other, and you say, hey, honey, can you please, fix this? And you ask nicely, and you ask your kids nice, can you please put this away nicely, right? Maybe first 5 times you say it nicely, but then you get irritated. Like, how many times do I need to tell you? So I feel often the universe is that way. Not that it gets irritated with you. I feel like the forces are loving, but it's like it has to push you, and more you resist it, then it would feel more abrupt. It would feel more dramatic. It would feel more like a tower moment, which is reference to tarot cards, where there's a tower. So like open up, open up, and try to be, yeah, what I want to tell you, open to guidance, and listen to yourself, listen to your heart, listen how you feel, sit with the pain, because you're ready to grow, and this is needed for your growth. Look, it's just right there, it says growth. Look at this beautiful elk. He is looking into the future. You know how I said I feel like you're looking into the past? This card is your inner child inviting you to look into the future. He's looking to the right. So to me, that's the future focus. Where do you want to be? Do you want to still be playing small in your power? Do you want to bloom and grow into the, like this forest field, this green energy of healing? So that's your invitation. That's something only you can really address and take charge of. But I love that it your inner child came in through, and you know, even though you've been through so much as a kid, there is still the invitation for you to not be stuck in the past. And I send you lots of love and support and healing thoughts. And I hope you take time this week to acknowledge your strength and how lovable you are, and prepare for the shedding of the old skin so you can grow and explore what else is there for you. Okay, deck number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'll see you next week. Take care.